हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज का टॉपिक है ट्रायल एंड एरर। तो वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। लेट अस ऑब्जर्व अ चाइल्ड लर्निंग टू राइड अ बाइसिकल। Perfection in riding the bicycle is not achieved through one try. The child makes many attempts to acquire mastery over the skill. At the initial stage, he or she makes errors and gradually the errors are minimized. The child makes a number of attempts for a particular task or problem and finds his or her attempts ultimately rewarding. When one is confronted with a difficult problem for which he or she does not have any ready made solution, he or she will engage in a variety of different responses until one response produces a satisfying effect. In other words, it is through trial and error that problems are solved. The theory of trial and error learning was developed by the American psychologist E.L. Thorndike as early as 1913 through a series of experiments conducted on different animals, mostly on cats. One of his famous experiments to illustrate the method of trial and error learning involved placing a hungry cat inside a cage and dangling a fish outside the cage. The cat had to press a lever and come out from the cage to grab the fish. In the initial attempts, the cat made several unnecessary movements before pressing the lever of the cage. In subsequent trials, the random movements were gradually reduced, and finally, the cat could directly approach the lever, press it, and escape the cage. From this experiment, Thorndike developed the following three laws of learning. Law of exercise. Repetition of the activity makes the student to retain the activity for longer period. This essentially constituted of two laws, law of use and the law of disuse. The first relates to the strengthening of the connection of stimulus and response by repetition, and the second, the opposite of the first, relates to the weakening of connection when not used frequently. Law of effect. Of the several responses that occurs just before a satisfying state of affairs tends to be learned easily. Those that occur before an annoying state of affair tend to be forgotten or rejected. In other words, if the consequence to a behavior is satisfying, then the behavior is likely to be learned. In this connection, the role of reward and praise have positive effects of strengthening the learned behavior, whereas punishment and rebuke have the opposite effect on the behavior being learned. Law of readiness. Effective learning takes place when the student is ready to learn. The educational implication of this law is quite clear. A child who is ready for a specific type of learning is far more likely to profit from such learning experiences than another who is not ready. सो गाइज, ये थी आज की वीडियो। आई होप आपको वीडियो पसंद आई होगी। प्लीज़ इसे लाइक एंड शेयर ज़रूर कीजिए। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, बेल आइकन को प्रेस कर दीजिए ताकि आगे आने वाली वीडियोस का नोटिफिकेशन आपको टाइमली मिल सके। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।